Please stop treating your soul like a hobby and then please start getting educated. Spirituality is not a hobby, it's not a vibe, it is science. There is actually a science that you can study about spirituality. Did you know that? And then I have been studying it along with my coaching and leadership training because I am a professional student for life. I have been super curious about my own personal experiences. So I have been a nerd, just breaking down the universe, the structure of the universe, with two doctorate degrees, if you didn't know. I have a doctorate degree in metaphysical science of consciousness and another one in metaphysical psychology behind human behaviors. And today, in this episode, I want to show you the connection between science, spirituality, and your soul because they are the same. We live in the universe of oneness. That's why I want you to stop looking at your soul as a hobby and start getting educated about what is really going on so that you can actually claim your power and manifest your biggest desires in your life. If you're ready, let's begin.
Are you ready to shine? Come on, it's the shiny one.
You got this. My dear shiny mind, you who's watching, may I invite you to hit that subscribe button? This way, you and I are going to become partners in shine and elevate the consciousness in the world. Thank you so much in advance, and I'll see you inside. Welcome to the Shiny Minds Show with Dr. Shiny. I am Dr. Shiny Burcu Ünsal, the founder of the Academy of Neuro-Shine Technology, a double accredited global academy where turning your dreams into reality becomes your everyday habit. Because we educate you, we train you, we give you skills, we give you the mindset, we give you the heart, we give you the soul, and then we break down the science behind it all. It rhymes behind it all. Yes. I am an ICF Master Certified Coach and a licensed NLP trainer. Since 2011, I have been studying not only neuro-linguistic programming or coaching or leadership or neuroscience and hard science. I have also been studying metaphysics, as you can tell from the wall behind me. I am a nerd. I am a professional student for life. And today I want to talk to you about the connection between science, spirituality, and your soul, who you are at your core, because they are not different. They are really not different. We live in a world where science is treated so differently than spirituality. And having been studying and observing and making a huge difference in the world with educating thousands of people, coaching thousands of hours, and certifying thousands of people, I have learned something. I have realized that there is no difference between science, spirituality, your mindset, your coaching education, your coaching practice, or your empowerment or your healing, whatever you are going through, they're all the same. Trust me when I say that there is science behind it. And I am going to talk to you about 3 angles how you can look science, spirituality, and your own soul as just one system. All right. The first perspective I want to talk to you about is the angle of what spirituality is. Okay, from the angle of spirituality, spirituality in the old myth is something that you are interested. It is listed as a hobby in Facebook. Oh, I'm interested in spirituality. Because we look or we used to look at spirituality as such, as a hobby, something that you are interested in, something that you occasionally get involved with. This is so fundamentally wrong because spirituality is not a thing that is different than who you are. When you meditate, when you do your breath work, when you are consciously choosing gratitude as your frequency, when you are in your beautiful zone of genius, when you are creating something, writing on your journal, writing a music, singing a song, connecting with people, sharing beautiful moments with people, when you are teaching, when you are speaking, when you are listening, as you are doing anything, you are actually practicing spirituality because you cannot separate yourself from anything else from the universe. You just can't because you are one. We are one. There's a system behind it. Spirituality is considered as somewhat as woo-woo in today's world. And I have a problem with that. Spirituality is not a woo-woo. Spirituality is not a hobby. And spirituality is not something that you choose, you click as something that you're interested in. This is where we are making things wrong. Spirituality is the way that we live, the way that you make decisions, the way that you show up. It is no different than being a leader of your life. Spirituality is the new age of the science behind morality because there are incredible developments and Nobel Prize winners coming up with quantum entanglement and quantum mechanics. And I have been studying all of these things since I have known myself. I have been studying everything as a hobby when I was in my corporate world because it was a hobby, right? I was interested. I was going to seminars and reading books and trying to understand everything. So that was like the hobby era of my life. Once I made the shift, burned my boats, and moved myself from my corporate world in Istanbul to Los Angeles, California, to just go deep within myself, guess what happened? Spirituality became me. I became spirituality. I went to Kabbalah, I went to Landmark, I went to the University of Metaphysics to understand the magic behind it. I went to Agape. I learned from Michael Bernard Beckwith. I studied incredibly ancient wisdom books. I studied esoteric wisdom. I studied Hermeticism. I studied Rosicrucianism. I studied sacred geometry. I studied the connection between chemistry and biology and breathwork and our DNA. I studied human design. I studied gene keys. I studied astrology. I studied Buddhism. I studied, can I give you a longer list? I educated myself about it. That's how I can tell you that spirituality is nothing different than science, okay? Because there is science behind spirituality. Let's just go back. Before science, what did we have as humanity? We had esoteric wisdom, right? So that was spirituality. And then with the evolution and revolutions in time, in history, we created science, we created studies. And in time, science and spirituality just got separated. I don't know who just gave them a divorce. They have already been married for ages since the beginning of time. If we exploded from one single source, how can they be ever different? How can you be ever different from anybody else around you? Think about it. It's pure logic, you guys. I'm telling you, my shiny minds, it's logic. And then when you really go into quantum physics, the observer effect, how you collapse the wave function into a particle, which means your energy, when you observe, it just creates reality. It creates matter. It turns energy into matter. You already are the co-creator of your life. You already are the spiritual being, the soul that your physical human body contains. It is actually the other way around. Your soul contains the physical body because we are in this magnetic field that is invisible. And again, when you look at from the perspective of spirituality, these things are not being taught. And that's why you may look at spirituality as an event, as a vibe, as something that here and there you explore. It is not. That's why I'm telling you, please stop treating your soul as a hobby. Just get serious about it. Study it. Okay? And then comment below if you want me to give you more education about spirituality and your mindset and manifestation because there is science behind it. Please comment education below. And when I see your comments, I will give you more content like this. All right? We got this? All right. Let's talk about the second perspective. The second angle I want to bring, obviously, the science angle, right? So there's spirituality, there's science, and then we're going to talk about the soul. The science angle, as I was telling you about, is now able to break down the logic behind the magic. I always talk about it in my programs, neuro-shine technology education programs. There's actually a merging of science and spirituality together. We combine the power of the mind with the wisdom of the heart. So there is this incredible marriage of science and spirituality, logic and magic with love and oneness. That is the core of my neuro-shine technology. I teach the science of morality as spiritual breakdown of the coaching mindset because to me, it's also not different. It's not different. Your coaching mindset is not different than spirituality in my world, in my neuro-shine technology. I am not talking about any other traditional coaching education programs out there. We are absolutely forever unique. We combine science and spirituality. We combine logic and magic. Why? Because I created it that way. Like I said, I have been studying it. I have 2 doctorates on this. I have dissertation papers that I published. And I can tell you that there is sacred geometry, there is mathematics, there is physics, there is astrophysics. Michio Kaku talks about parallel universes. The observer effect talks about you having the intent, just the intent as an energetic frequency, just changing the quality of your experience, just the intention. That's how the universe works. The science breaks it down with incredible experiments. You can look at something called double slit experiment. This experiment is all about you looking at the world and then because you look at it, you change it. Yeah, that's the universe we live in. All right. And there's also science, and then there's also studies published, peer-reviewed, published articles by scientists all over the world. There is something called the Institute of Noetic Sciences. People have been studying the science behind spirituality. There's nothing new. I'm telling you, I have spent 15 years, and I can tell you that there are actually sources. You can find the resources anywhere. And that's why I'll be happy to share all of that with you because it is, to me, my way of life. When I take someone from the scratch, they know nothing about my coaching world, my neuro-shine technology world, and then they go through my entire program, and then I actually show them what coaching is doing with science at the core. It's actually breaking down the components of your soul signature, and you're looking inside of you. You're looking what you have inside, and you are choosing the parts. Oh, I don't want this part. This is no longer in alignment with my truth in my next era. So purge that. Let's insert some synaptic pruning from neuroscience and then close the gap. And then you choose, okay, this is the new me. This is the new habit that I want to build. I'm just going to choose the habits in alignment with this new version of me now. And you literally take it and leave it, take it and leave it. Every day with your decisions, you're already implementing the science, and then you are already becoming spiritual as you do that. There is no difference. Just because they are using different language, you may think that, oh, it's different. Who created language? Who created the words, the sound? It all goes back to the Big Bang. All right. I just want you to just simplify everything. Just look at the scientific logic behind everything. What is it? If the logic is, well, if we all exploded from Big Bang, right? You're a stardust. And then that's why I wrote my book. You are a star. You have the same elements in your chemistry. If you want to go look at the periodic table, there goes your science. Look at the periodic table. Have you ever studied what is the periodic table about? Have you ever got curious about like what is going on in the periodic table? Why do we have 6 electrons, 6 protons, and then 6 neutrons in the carbon element? Why salt is made up of sodium and chloride. I mean, you may remember your chemistry years. If you studied chemistry, all the electrons and becoming very like particled and determined, and they actually just connect, they get married when they have eight. So eight is a sacred geometrical numerological number, and there is science behind it. And again, it is thought to us as woo-woo, and it's just not that easy to just look at it now and then see the connection behind, but it all makes sense when you study everything. That's why I'm going to invite you to study again. Stop looking at spirituality as a hobby. Start getting educated about it. That's what I'm going to say. And again, if you're interested, please put a comment below and say education, and then I will be dropping more content like this. All right? That's our agreement. Hello, Shiny Minds. Sorry to interrupt, but I just wanted to tell you that this Shiny Minds show is sponsored by my Academy of Neuro-shine Technology, where myself as the founder and my hand-selected amazing elite ICF accredited coach educators are here to support you, to make you feel safe, seen, heard, appreciated, free to become whoever you want to be, and also transformed forever, inside out. We are here to hold your hand and to support your growth. If you feel it in your heart to become more and achieve more, then go to shinyinstall.com, grab that PDF, and we will see you inside. Now let's talk about the final angle, the soul perspective. The soul now is what you have inside of you. Your soul signature is what makes you who you are. Your DNA has the magic which differentiates yourself from the others. Why do we have in marketing, there is something called USP, unique selling proposition, or unique soul proposition, we might also say, right? Why? Because there is uniqueness in your DNA. Why? Because think about it. I'll just break it down to you in a very, very logical way. Your organs, they know exactly what to do, right? Your liver is not trying to become your heart. Your heart is not trying to become your brain. They know exactly what they are responsible for. And then they are automatic. You don't even need your conscious operating system to give them orders or manage their activities. They are fully automated in the world of AI and automation, right? You already have that automation in your body. Your organs, they already know what to do. They are fully automated. Think about it and go down. Let's chunk it down. Let's use some terminology from my coaching world. Let's chunk it down. When you chunk down your organs into their components, what do you have? You have cells. So why do you think your cells know exactly what to do? Interesting, right? So when you catch a cold, how come your body knows exactly what to do, how to fight with it? How come all the cells, they now reorganize themselves so that they fight with the entropy. Entropy is the first law of physics, thermodynamics. And in a closed system, things decay, and that's entropy. And when you have information that is not organized, that's entropy because it's closed. It's a closed loop. But if the system is not closed, it's open. If it's ever expanding, like the universe that we have proof that it is ever expanding, then it is obvious why we are also decaying and experiencing entropy when we are closing ourselves to the outside world. There is a science called positive psychology, and then it just breaks down everything that you want to hear about your own psychology. And then there is also something called metaphysical psychology, and it breaks down your entire energy systems, your chakras, and your soul inside of all this spiritual and scientific mechanic is the one that just is experiencing everything, because the field is only consciousness. The consciousness is in the fabric and the free will is in there. You literally choose your pieces and then you make your own puzzle, and your DNA is responsible to make that puzzle. If you are not on your specific path, though, then you experience entropy because you are closing. You're in a closed loop and you're not opening, you're not expanding, you're contracting. Does that make sense? So that's why you're experiencing suffering. If you are suffering, if your soul is suffering, just know that you're not on your path. And that is the whole idea about getting educated about spirituality. So if you're suffering, my dear shiny mind, you're not really in your shine zone. You need to make a change in your life. And I have a very simple formula for you. Change equals awareness multiplied by willingness. If you don't know what spirituality is, which means you don't have awareness, and although you are doing everything and then you're hearing manifestation here and there, you're doing it wrong because you don't have the awareness. First, you need to have awareness. If your awareness is 10 out of 100, although you put 100 effort out of 100, you are just getting 10% of your potential. When we expand your awareness, when your awareness becomes 60, then you just multiplied yourself 6 times. Your potential just exploded. Do you understand? When you don't know what you don't know, you cannot do anything about it. If you don't know what is wrong, you cannot fix it. I know it is hard, it's uncomfortable, and that's exactly the point. That's where you start. You start when you're suffering because your soul doesn't want to suffer. Your soul doesn't want to contract. Your soul wants to expand. And that is where your soul and science and spirituality all merge together under one big umbrella that we can simply call love. It's all about love and light. And then there is all science behind it. It's not woo-woo. It's not magic. There's sacred geometry. There is incredible sources behind it. There are hundreds of years of studies that have been buried under the soil, but now everything is back. You can actually get access to all that. And I want you to be educated. Again, if you're interested in hearing more content like this, please put a comment and say education. And then I will be giving you more content about spirituality because spirituality is one of the bedrocks of my neuro-shine technology. We want to educate everybody, not only about your coaching mindset, your emotional intelligence, your leadership skills, your communication skills, and your coaching skills, but also about your spiritual skills. You are a spiritual being. They are not different. And I am here to give you the education that you need. Just put a comment and say education if you want to be a part of this. And then please share this with someone who needs to hear so that they can all understand that spirituality, science, and your soul, who you are just one big love and oneness. Thank you for watching. Until next time, keep shining your light.
Go galactic. Go galactic.
Go galactic.
Then you're in the right place. Let's go, let's go.